I know I said I would do my video where I make my little ownage video against everyone who commented on my video from a couple days ago. And I will get to that very soon, I promise, but I just feel like I gotta rant about a very important topic here. Because I've never really seen anyone do a rant about this before, and I think it's time for someone to tackle this very controversial subject because it seems like everyone else is afraid to do it. And, of course, well, this rant's going to be about sex. That's right. I'm going to be doing about sex in this video. And I'll tell you why. Because sex is probably the most morbid, disgusting thing ever. Do you know what people do when they have sex? Do you realize what people do? I mean, it's just awful. I mean, for starters, to have sex, you have to get, like, completely naked. Okay? It involves at least two people, and they both have to be completely naked. What kind of person gets naked in front of another person? Okay? How little dignity must you have to be able to do that, alright? I don't know about you, but I'm a dignified man, and I mean, these clothes will always stay on me, alright? I even take showers with my clothes on. That's how much dignity I have. Just keep dignity in mind. You think about that. I mean, a bunch of sluts here. I mean, I'm convinced that if people knew what was actually involved when they have sex, that nobody would be having sex, okay? So they get completely naked. And for the male, oh man, I explained this in an earlier video of mine, but when the male has sex, his penis, the man's penis gets so filled with blood that it actually becomes solid and hard because it's so packed in with blood cells. Alright? And, it makes the penis increase in size. Sometimes it gets to be over 4 inches long. That is unreal. That is just, I mean, to be packed that much with blood, I mean, can you imagine poking something like that with a needle? You'd have like a big bloody water balloon. Blood just splurting everywhere. That's dangerous. Okay? You can't walk around sharp objects with something like that between your legs. Oh, and that's not all. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much physical activity is involved with sex. I mean, I'll watch like a Richard Simmons workout video and just get exhausted just watching these people work out like they do. I mean, to have sex, it's like twice as much physical activity. All the pushing and thrusting and jumping and hopping along. You wouldn't believe what people do when they have sex. It's unbelievable. You burn like 10,000 calories a minute. That seems almost dangerous. I know a guy who had sex once, lost 15 pounds in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Sorry, not worth it for something so horrid. And, all the different ways of having sex. People have so many positions. They got they got doggy style. That seems to be one of the more popular positions. Doggy style. Do you have any idea what that is? Well, I can only assume that a couple of people were watching a couple of dogs have sex and they were thinking, gee, that looks like fun. Maybe we should try doing that ourselves. I mean, how uncivilized have we become as a species that we're trying to act like dogs? Okay? Are we going to start licking our own assholes now? What the fuck? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing in Cincinnati, okay? Sigma licks his own asshole. He told me. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. There's other positions too. Other positions like missionary, where they're trying to have sex like Indians. How about having sex like people? Or is there no way to have sex like people? We're just modeling ourselves after dogs and, you know, people who existed like 5,000 years ago. What's wrong with us as a society? And, you know, people love doing this. There are actually people who love having sex so much that they'll have sex with their own hands. With their own hands. What are you going to tell me next? That they have sex with, like, dolls too? That wouldn't surprise me. Or maybe you're telling me they have, like, special plastic items made after genital organs and people have sex with those. Are you going to tell me that those exist too? What is wrong with the world? There are children out there, and, you know, I mean, people have sex on TV, kids see that, they want to do it too, because kids impersonate everything they see on TV. Like the time I was watching Walker, Texas Ranger, and I saw some old guy get murdered on there, alright? Do you know how many people I murdered because of that? I'm scarred for life. I tell you. Oh, and I'm not even done talking about this. Because when a guy has sex, sometimes he gets so into it that this disgusting yellowish white buttery substance comes out of his cock. Ew. Ew. And apparently there are like little tadpole creatures swimming around in it. Do you know how gross that sounds? Do you know how uncivilized? And I mean, are we living in the 1500s here? We're living in the technological era. I thought we were above stuff like this, but no. We're all out having sex, bumping and grinding each other, and the funny noises people make, the grunting. You know, I mean, every time I listen to people have sex, and I do it quite often, you know, every time people have sex, they make these noises like, ooh, and apparently that's a good thing. I mean, that's the kind of noise I make when I stub my toe. I mean, if you listen to me when I stub my toe, you wouldn't be able to tell if I were having sex or if I was in excruciating pain. That's just how undignified and disgusting sex is. And, you know, people have sex anywhere. In their bedrooms, at work, in their cars, in hotel rooms while other people are sleeping in the hotel room, in Central Park, in New York. Because people are just that undignified anymore, you know? And you wouldn't believe what some of these people do with their mouths, the things they put in their mouths, the things of other people's that they put in their mouths. You know, I mean, I'm so astounded by this, that I am actually spitting while I'm talking about this. It's just unbelievable to me how civilized human beings, and sometimes there's more than 2 people involved. Sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 4, sometimes there's 16. 16 people all together having sex in a giant sex change. Sex chain. Although people get sex changes too. But like they'll turn into a male, but they'll still have female sex organs and vice versa. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sex itself. This dirty, disgusting act that needs to be illegalized. Because I don't think people realize what they're doing to themselves. People become addicted to this stuff, you know what I mean? I think people need to start taking up healthy habits, like smoking, for example. Smoking is a perfectly fine and healthy habit. It only takes 10 to 20 years off your life, and, you know, I feel pretty good when I do it. No one has to see me naked. My cock doesn't have to fill up with blood like a balloon or whatever the fuck, and I don't have to make any weird grunting noises or funny faces while I'm, you know, supposedly enjoying myself when I look like I just smelled something nasty. I mean, come on, people. What is wrong with us as a society? Let's grow up. I'm going to go ahead and end this little video now.